All right, hello everyone. My name is Heidi Buffington. I'm the Director of Admissions here at St. Louis University's Madrid, Spain campus. We call ourselves SLU-Madrid. I thought I should share that first because sometimes people say SLU. We say SLU-Madrid. And welcome. We're all going to introduce ourselves here. We are doing a Zoom webinar from home. Currently right now it's April 2nd. And we are all on lockdown, essentially, to help stop the spread of the coronavirus. Kind of devastating, kind of really interesting times we're living in. And we wanted to do Facebook Lives this spring, and this is the new normal attempt at sharing information with everyone so you can make decisions for the fall, meet some current students, meet a professor, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about what life is like as a student on and off campus. So our original plan was to do this in the cafeteria with lots of people moving around behind us. We're all at home. We're doing the best that we can. Classes are online right now. And looking towards the fall, we are anticipating beginning online classes to start. The semester will be a little bit shortened, and then online classes at the end to kind of facilitate. If you need a student visa, that might not be as easy. So we want to facilitate getting to Spain and also just learning about the campus and opportunities as a student on and off campus. So it's a great place to be, and I don't want you to just take my word for it. So why don't I have Rose introduce herself first, and we'll just go around and say where you are from originally, or where you grew up maybe, and where you're currently from, and who are you? What do you do on campus?
Awesome. So my name's Rose. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm a third-year senior at SLU-Madrid in political science and international relations. And right now I'm quarantining in my neighborhood in Malasaña with my roommate, who's another SLU student, and our cat that we share. And so, yeah, I'm involved in campus and a lot of different things like the Human Rights Club, and some other things, but that's my main thing that I'd like to talk about today.
Hamish?
Right, my name's Hamish Binns. I'm originally from the UK, but via a roundabout route, I ended up in SLU-Madrid. I'm program director for ESL, modern languages, and the education programs. And I'm also presently in quarantine, I think a few roads down from Rose, also in Malasaña, so in the center of Madrid.
Sierra, do you want to go next?
Sure. Hi, I'm Sierra. I'm also a senior at SLU-Madrid. I study international business and I have a minor in Spanish. I also had kind of a roundabout route getting to SLU-Madrid. I'm originally from the Chicago area. I went to school in Milwaukee for my first 2 years of undergraduate before transferring to SLU-Madrid. So I kind of have the transfer experience, and on campus I'm involved with, I think the main thing is being student government president, which has allowed me kind of to talk to a lot of people, professors, students, faculty, everybody. So kind of know a little bit about everything going on campus.
Sierra, did you say where you are right now?
Oh, I am back in the Chicago area at my parents' house.
All right. Last but not least, Sidine. I think I see she's muted.
Okay.
Oh, I think we lost her. Well, we'll keep going. Maybe she'll join back in. So I am originally, I'll just introduce myself. I'm originally from Erie, Pennsylvania. Oh, she's back. She's coming back. I will finish, and then hopefully we can get her to tell us about herself.
Hi.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, can you?
Yep. So tell us about
I have a
yourself.
bad net.
It sounds like the internet, the connection's not great.
Network here. Okay, so my name is Political Science.
Maybe we turn the video off and then we could just have audio.
Yeah, there are a lot of problems at the moment. There's a huge overload on the internet. And
yeah,
having a lot of problem getting through with some students. So
Well, maybe Sudin, if you are able to connect, maybe you just stop your video and we could just do audio. I'll finish. So I found my way to SLU-Madrid because I had studied abroad in southern Spain and then came to Madrid and ended up finding campus just kind of on a walk. And I had done admissions work as an undergraduate student, and I've been at SLU-Madrid now for 16 years. And it's a great place. So I'm excited to share with everyone a little bit about our campus. And of course, everybody else is going to do a majority of the talking, but maybe as we're waiting for Sidine to come back in, maybe what I'll do is I'll share a little bit of information on the university as a whole, just so everybody we're all on the same page about what St. Louis University is. And we will get started here. So St. Louis University, the main campus is in St. Louis, Missouri. There are about 12,000, 13,000 students there. It's a very large research university, generally ranked in the top 100. This year, it's ranked number 97 in the United States, which is a pretty impressive ranking. We are a private Jesuit university. And the campus in St. Louis was founded in 1818, and there are many highly ranked programs. So I'm going to just highlight quickly because people like to kind of know what are some of the top programs. At the undergraduate level, international business this year is ranked number 13 in all of the United States. To put it in context, there are some through 4,000 universities in the United States. So knowing that some of our business programs like entrepreneurship and finance are highly ranked at undergraduate level is impressive. And then you can see some of the graduate rankings as well. Hi, Sidine. Well, I'm giving an overview of the campus. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Sidine, and I'm originally from Tunisia. I'm a freshman at SLU-Madrid, and I have a double major in political science and international studies. I'm involved in some clubs on campus, like the MUN, and I would love to tell you more about the classes I'm taking and my overall experience at Madrid and studying.
Great. And where are you
and
calling
living
from
there.
today? No, it's cutting out.
I'm calling from Tunisia, North Africa.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. Let's see here. Hopefully, there we go. And to give some context of the Madrid, Spain campus, we have about 1,000 students actually this semester. It says 850 right here, but this semester we had about 1,000 students. We have been in Europe for 52 years. We're one of the oldest American universities outside the US. Similarly, very small classes and accredited in the United States by the Higher Learning Commission. We're also recognized here in Spain. On the right-hand side, you see our mascot, that is the billiken. Not everybody knows what a billiken is, but in the bottom right-hand corner, a billiken it was a kind of a good luck charm in the early 1900s. And for example, if you were to move into a new apartment or start a new job, you would get gifted one of these, and people would say, "May things be as they ought to be." So it's a good luck charm, a good luck kind of figure. And in Madrid, just so we have context, these are the degree programs you can do all 4 years in Madrid, and in the square on the left-hand side. There are 2 graduate programs, lots of minor programs, as you can see there. And so I think we'll go back to the panel. We will stop sharing the screen here. And maybe let's get into like life on campus and classes, and maybe you guys could say what you're taking. What's the average course load and favorite class? I know there's a lot of things all rolled into one. Hamish, you can give your favorite class too if you want.
I don't know. There are a lot of classes I would love to be able to take, but haven't been able to yet. But I obviously have a strong bias towards the modern languages, and I love our campus just because the amount of languages everywhere. So you can go and study Arabic in the classroom, then you go out and you hear people speaking Arabic in the patio outside. So that's what I take away. It's kind of the in and out of the class at the same time.
Perfect.
So I reckon you guys can give a better idea of the classes and the favorite classes than I can.
Go ahead. Anybody want to jump in?
I would
Yeah,
say one thing that
I
really
think
surprised me was the fact that there are so many interesting classes at SLU-Madrid. You would think because it's such a small school, there would be fewer really dynamic electives, but some of my favorite classes have been my electives that I wouldn't think I would have thought were so outside of like the traditional uh, course load for political science. For example, my class on human rights theory and practice was super interesting, and we got to get into topics that were really adjacent to what I usually study, but really important as well. And then right now I'm in a class on cultural anthropology that's really interesting, as well as my animals and ethics class, which I think is super fascinating. Those are all really connected in weird ways. So that's one thing too that's really interesting about the liberal arts degree is right now in a lot of my classes we're talking about the differences between animals and people, which you wouldn't think you would. But it's really cool taking a liberal arts degree.
I think personally my favorite class, since I'm a political science major, all of the politics classes, because there's lots of diversity on the Madrid campus. So when we study politics, like I get to know different views from different people who have different backgrounds and nationalities, and that helps me more with my major. I'm also taking the cultural anthropology class with Rose, and it's really interesting a lot because we always have reading about cultural events and their explanations. Like yesterday, we had to watch a documentary about women. It has the story of 5 different women around the world, and I think this is really interesting because all of the classes are interesting, but I'm more fascinated about the ones about different cultures and all because you get to live the experience.
Thanks. Sierra, anything to add?
Right. So I'm a business student, so my schedule might be a little bit different than everybody else's. I actually intern in Madrid. So I have like a 10-hour internship that I go to usually. I mean, I'm doing it remotely now, but that's an option. And I think that's one of the best options, you know, for students who are looking to get any type of experience. I mean, and it's not just an international business internship. You know, you can do it with political science, you can do it with psychology. That's what my roommate did. You know, there's a lot of opportunities to actually go out and get real world experience without having to be in a classroom. But I think one of the best parts about at least the IB curriculum is that a lot of it is very focused on the international environment. So I took an international accounting class where we talked about the different accounting standards in different countries. I've taken international marketing, and that is interesting. You know, how do we market this product in this country versus another? You know, so there's a lot of really great opportunities to learn about the world around you and keep up to date, especially with all the current events and news and everything. So if that's something that interests you, like it interested me, you'll be very happy with a lot of your classes and your professors.
Mm. Now, how is the online for you guys who are doing online, either teaching, Hamish, or learning? How is that going right now? Because I know we changed our entire spring semester online. We've now been in lockdown for exactly 3 weeks. So I think everybody's making big efforts to either change the classes or adapt to the new situation. How is it going?
I know for me as a professor, it's a lot of work. It's a lot more work preparing. It's very, very difficult at the beginning, especially to gauge how much work to give. And I think some of us went way over the top and sent out far too much work at the beginning. We got a bit too overexcited. So, so it's been hard trying to gauge the levels of work. It was also hard connecting with all the students because having students from all around the world in my class, and of course they're trying to go home. I think one of my students only managed to get home yesterday to Georgia. Wow. Having been to I don't know how many other countries on the way trying to get there with cancelled flights and being put in quarantine. And right now I got a message just before they confiscated his phone, just saying, apologizing for not doing the work, but saying that they have taken his computer and his phone and all his clothes and she won't have them for another 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
So it's been quite an adventure. It's also been it's funny, in fact, there's been a lot of complicity with the students. I think we're all in the same position. We've all been thrown into this very bizarre situation of trying to communicate online, and I've had some wonderful conversations and actually some wonderful study time with students, and some students who weren't doing very well in the course are now flourishing and doing much better. I guess not being able to go out at all and staying at home all day is very conducive to working more, but
Yeah.
but it's been a very, very interesting time. I don't know about you guys, how seeing it from the other perspective.
I mean, I think for me, I've taken online classes before, so I was kind of ready, for it. I will admit though that it was very stressful at the beginning because it was, I left Madrid, I think, on a Friday and I started online classes on Monday. So it was very, here we go, and then you have to adjust to the time change, your jet lag, now you're behind, But I think honestly, a lot of my professors have been doing a great job. They've been very timely with their uploads, very clear with, this is our new syllabus and this is what you should follow. And a lot of the classes, I think I only have 2 classes that I have to call into, to be live. But they're discussion based and I wouldn't want it any other way. Even though I do have to call in at maybe 9 o'clock in the morning, I would rather have the opportunity to discuss with other students and keep that spirit alive instead of just reading book chapters or watching videos the entire time.
I would say I've experienced in this situation a lot of empathy going both ways. My teachers are being very patient with me as I adjust. I've never online learned before, so all of a sudden having to change that has been difficult for me, and I have a lot of respect for my professors. A lot of them have never taught online before, and I'm sure that's much more complicated than me figuring out how to turn in assignments and watch the videos that they've made. So I think everyone's being really patient with each other in this moment and understanding that everyone's having a really hard time adjusting. So we're all kind of, at least I've experienced an attitude of we're all in this together, which is really, really great.
Yeah, good. Well, why don't we, I'm going to go back to the slides. Why don't we take a brief tour of campus just so we kind of we know where we are. And you guys feel free to chime in. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the arch. This is our main campus. This is in St. Louis, and these archways are in most of all entrances, kind of in the back. Every street that goes into the campus, there's an archway, and we mimic that in our Madrid campus. This is our Madrid. This is one of our buildings, San Ignacio Hall. And in this building, I'm going to show some other pictures, but in this building, there is a rooftop terrace. It's just really nice to study, library, cafeteria, fine and performing arts rooms, library, what am I forgetting? Auditorium. In this, we have 3 buildings. In this building is the Office of Admissions, for example, finance offices. I think it's called, you guys call it the Science Building? Some people do.
I always just say, I'm going to PAH. I don't know.
Okay. It's like somebody told me it's the place to get away from everyone. It's quiet.
Yeah, that's true.
And then this is Padre Rubio Hall. It's kind of right in the middle. It's all within 1 block walking. So back to San Ignacio Hall, the first picture I showed you, it's kind of the main entryway in the upper left-hand corner, the auditorium. There's a class going on. There's an art studio and just kind of hangout space. And then the cafeteria is also in this building, and just kind of, there's just students hanging out in the cafeteria. Just good to have some visuals so you can kind of see where we spend our time. Library, big study room, that must be during finals or midterms because it's packed full. And then some outdoor space. And then this is the back patio of—
I missed this.
Sorry? Serene? I thought she was going to say something. So we have a nursing lab in this building, classroom, and then kind of an outdoor. Actually, this picture, I actually took this on my iPhone. It was such a beautiful day. And I think Sierra's in this picture. She was telling me.
That's my management class. Yep, that's me.
It was such a nice day, and then we got the call that we should probably stay home and to try and lower the curve. And this is, I also took the picture on the right, like kind of same time. It was really beautiful. This is the back patio of Padre Arrupe Hall. So maybe we gotta go, why don't we segue into clubs and organizations? I just copied this from our webpage. So Rose, or Sierra, maybe do you wanna take over and talk about, Sierra, why don't you start talking about student government and maybe any other activities or clubs that you've participated in?
Right. So student government, Rose was on student government, she knows too. It takes up a lot of your time. But the nice part about it is you get to be involved in a little bit of everything. So I'm the president of the SGA right now, and I get to go to leadership meetings with faculty and staff. I get to interact with students. You know, anytime someone has, you know, a question, a comment, or concern, they come to me, and then I can pass it on to the right person. So from that, I've been able to meet a bunch of new people and actually get involved in different clubs. So from that, I met someone that was in the Sierra Club, which is like that hiking club. I went hiking in Guadarrama a couple times with them, you know, so that's a nice way to get out. I did Boca Talk a couple times. And I mean, there's just a variety of things that you can do. I mean, if you like volunteer work, there's volunteer work. If you like arts, culture, things like that, I think there's something for everybody. And I think a lot of these clubs as well are mostly student run. I mean, there is obviously a faculty member there, but it's all really pushed by students.
Do you want to explain Boca Talk a little bit? Because this picture in the bottom left-hand corner is Boca Talk. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that, and then maybe Hamish, you could tell us about community ESL, because the student in the upper right-hand corner is doing community ESL classes.
Yeah, so Sierra, Boca Talk.
Boca Talk. Okay, so sorry, I didn't hear my name on that one.
Sorry.
So
I can't see you because the slides are up. So
right. So Boca Talk is essentially exactly. So a bocadillo is, if you don't know, a sandwich, basically. And what happens at this club is we come in, we make sandwiches, and the first hour or so is making the sandwiches. I think when I did it, we made maybe like 40 or 50 sandwiches. And then the next hour is going downtown into like Sol or Callao or some place like that. And then you actually hand out the sandwiches to the people that are on the streets, you know, the people that are homeless. And part of the talk part is that, you know, you go and you have a conversation with people. And it's really fun because, I mean, you're giving back. And I remember one time I handed a woman a sandwich and she was just so happy. You know, she lit up, and then she and I started having a little bit of a conversation, and you know, you get to know more about these people, and then every time you do it, you go back looking for the same person. But it's a great way to practice your Spanish and get involved in the Madrid community, and I highly recommend it to anybody who is looking for a service opportunity.
great. Hamish, tell us about community ESL.
Real community ESL. I'm very proud of this program, I must say. It's been going on since 2003, and basically we offer free English classes to anyone who would like to come. And it's fantastic. We have the people who come for classes, we have literally from newly arrived refugees without papers up to bank managers. We have school kids coming. We have 90-year-old retired ladies who come who decide they would like to learn English. So it's a complete cross-section of Madrid society. And it's a wonderful chance for our students to meet people from Madrid, to see what life is like off campus. And yeah, every semester we give a session. I think we have 50 volunteers or so teaching on the program every semester. And they have a great time. They end up becoming friends with their students. And it's a wonderful reciprocal activity where the people who come in learn English, and our students just get this wonderful glimpse of Spain. Probably learn quite a lot of Spanish as well.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. A lot of students are saying this is one of the highlights of the semester when they come over. It's so it is fun.
two other things on that slide. Upper left-hand corner is collecting money for the Red Cross. And then in the bottom, I don't remember exactly which run this was, but it was a fundraising run, and it's right in front of, I don't know if Hamish is blocking that. Let me move you up here.
The Puerta de Alcalá, yeah.
Puerta de Alcalá. It's one of the most emblematic entryways to the city, pretty famous. So raise money for charity there. Let me see. What else do we have? Oh, I was going to mention this too. I put this into a slide. This is a newsletter. I went into my inbox and pulled one from February, but everybody gets this in their inbox every week, announcing anything that's going on. Like Career Services has Build a Great Resume. On Wednesday, there were different speakers coming to town, and it's always talking about things you need to keep in mind, but also some really interesting things about the sports that we offer. All sponsored by the university. You play pickup games, or go to something this week in Madrid, see the Jonas Brothers or the Magic Flute. So there's lots going on. I don't want to move off campus so much yet because I want Rose to tell us a little bit about Human Rights Club, I think.
Yeah, I would love to. Going off of Boca Talk, so Human Rights Club is a club that was started before I came to SLU-Madrid, and it's mostly a group of students in political science who just care about learning more about their communities, doing a service, either through activism or direct service, or generally just learning about humanitarian issues or human rights issues. So I'm the president of it for the second year, and we've done a lot of great things, and I think we're one of the most active clubs on campus. One big project we've been doing this year is there's a Boca Talk club at SLU-Madrid that Sierra was talking about, but we also a couple times just went out and did it as a Human Rights Club activity. And one big thing that people were mentioning to us is we went in October and they were saying, thank you so much for the sandwiches, but we actually need blankets. So a big initiative we had this year was we did a couple different bake sales and raised money and eventually got to distribute 40 blankets throughout to different individuals experiencing homelessness in Madrid. And so that's something that's really important to me because living in an urban center, there's always going to be homelessness. So being able to help people in my community that I have the ability to help is something that's really important. And so some other things we've done with Human Rights Club are activism. So we attended the climate march in Madrid, where 500,000 people marched during the UN climate conference in December. And that was really, really incredible to be part of that movement. Greta Thunberg was also there, to name drop a little bit. But we've done other things too, like we did a street art tour of a neighborhood and some other things that aren't so heavy, but Madrid is a city that has so many different cultural opportunities and events, and that's not lost on us. And so one thing also we want to do is just to take advantage of all the different expositions and cultural festivals going on in Madrid. So yeah, it's a really great way to get involved, and we're a hodgepodge of maybe 40 people who sometimes only 5 people show up to our events, sometimes 20 or 30 people show up. And because there's a lot of people coming in and out of our campus, it's a great way to get people together and to intentionally make community.
Great. CD,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Hamish.
Right. No, I was just going to say, I think one important thing to take into consideration, our campus isn't separate from the city. The campus is in Madrid, and really you walk out the door and you're in the center of Madrid. You walk 20 minutes and you can go anywhere. And so
I'm sure
I think there's so much crossover between the classes, between the different clubs, between the city of Madrid and the campus. There are a lot of gray areas. For example, also with a lot of people from the Human Rights Club, although it wasn't a human rights activity. We've done a couple of trips to Puerto Llano to work with kids in a school. And it's a very different view. Spain is not a very rich country. There are a lot of social problems, and a lot of them go unnoticed when people visit because people are cheerful and happy. And so a lot of people don't see the reality behind that very often.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to show this slide here just to point out where our campus is. This is to the, I don't know if my cursor is going to come out on the recording, but we're in the upper part of that map, and the big circle in the bottom is the center downtown, like Times Square, center of the city. And it's not that far, and it's easy to get around by metro. and nobody has cars. I want to ask Sidine about the choir though, because it's a good segue from life on campus and life off campus, because I know the choir was pretty active this holiday season, going out and singing in residence hall and I want to call them old folks homes. That's probably not the most appropriate term. I wonder what's happening to our PowerPoint here. So Sidine, are you there? Can you tell us about the choir? Maybe she's...
Yeah, I think she's been cut off again.
Well, I'm going to tell about the choir because it's actually a really great thing that they did this year. So the Fine and Performing Arts faculty and experiences on campus is actually very popular. A lot of our students do dance classes. You can see that in the bottom left-hand corner. That's our on-campus dance studio. Every semester we have a performance. So on the bottom right, there'll be Latin rhythms, flamenco. Lots of students take dance classes. Lots of students take music classes. We have piano here in the upper right-hand corner. On campus, we teach piano, voice, and guitar. And the choir is in the upper left-hand corner. And Sidine is right in the middle. She's wearing the white sneakers and the jeans. And Gudrun is our voice teacher. And the choir this holiday season went out and sung in many different places in the local community, just kind of spread some cheer and spread some music. So I mean, so we do a lot of volunteering, we do a lot of giving back, in musically, financially, blankets, lots of things like that.
Yeah, I've been connected to many different service opportunities through my time at SLU-Madrid. My first year, I had a service requirement in one of my classes, so I started doing a program called Te Oigo, which in Spanish means I hear you, and it was to help families who had kids with hearing impairment. And so that was another thing that through school, I was encouraged to get out in my community and serve, required to get out in my community, but it actually was one of the most fulfilling experiences I've had. And now I serve as a troop leader for Girl Scouts, for a Girl Scout troop here.
Anything else on campus? I kind of want to segue to off campus, but can you guys think of anything else you want to share about just life on campus in general?
We do have things like sorry, Sierra.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, student experience on campus, it's really great. I mean, it's a very, like I think Heidi was saying, it's all within one block of each other. So, you're not trekking across campus, it doesn't take you 15 minutes to walk from one building to the other, and because of that, I think everybody's a very tight-knit group on campus. You'll walk and you'll see a bunch of people from class, maybe your professor, some of your friends. You'll see everybody outside, on the patios or just hanging out, and it's a great place to be. I mean, I always enjoyed my time on campus. I was never like, oh, I just want to go to class and come to my apartment. It's never like that. I always ended up spending like at least 30 minutes to 45 minutes talking to whoever it was that I saw on my way out of class. So it's a really nice place to be, I think.
Yeah. No, and every semester we try to organize special activities. So Rose, you organized a huge wine tasting.
Yes, I did. Yeah, so the Hamish's Gourmet Club actually has a wine tasting every semester that's really wonderful, and it's super successful and always sells out. So we as the Human Rights Club saw it as an opportunity to actually use it as a fundraiser. So SLU-Madrid does a lot of partnership with an organization called Rescate, which is an NGO that helps refugees both in Spain and in Syria and Lebanon. And so we organized a wine tasting where over 80 people came to enjoy Spanish wine. So we taught a lot about wine culture and tapa culture in Spain, but also raised money for a really great cause. So that happened this January or February. It feels so long ago, but it wasn't. But it was a really amazing experience that the school helped us facilitate. That was a really big project that we collaborated with the SGA on.
What about Atlas Week, guys?
Well, this is Atlas Week.
I cut you off.
Yeah, well, normally, a whole lot of groups, we all work together with the SGA and with the Human Rights Club to organize a whole lot of activities for Atlas Week. So we've had to cancel everything this year, which has been a shame.
And Atlas Week celebrates nationalities on campus and culture and diversity.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to talk about how, we couldn't really do Atlas Week this semester, but last semester we tried a little bit with our Thanksgiving potluck, which was pretty successful, and we had people bring in food from their home country. I made mac and cheese because that's a big, United States staple. We had people who made soup. I think there was Indian dishes. There were things from Morocco. Like there's a little bit of everything. And I think that spirit, you know, we are this really diverse group and we should celebrate everything. And it's just really fun to be, but that American spirit, I guess, isn't lost in there either. You know, like we have, I think it was 50% American students. So we had Thanksgiving, but we put our little international twist on it by having people bring in food from their home countries.
Cool. So Sirine says she was WhatsApping me. She said, Mom, I had really bad network. She's going to try and fix it. But, well, we hope she comes back. But I don't know. You never know. You gotta go with the flow with these things. So let's switch to Madrid. This is actually Reem. She's a graduate, Moroccan American, and an artist. And I just put some pictures into the PowerPoint of just scenes of life in Madrid. This is kind of a famous area to go out and get some tapas and drinks and meet up with friends. And then maybe, actually, Sierra, maybe you could tell us about your internship. I don't know, I'm just want people to see some images of Madrid. This is the Plaza Mayor. This is the old world Madrid. And then the bottom are the four towers, the Cuatro Torres, the new Madrid, modern Madrid. Yeah, just kind of some of our students around the city. So let's transition. So we got the Prado Museum, tapas, and the Bernabeu with the Real Madrid football. I just picked some pictures that were typical of why don't we talk about where you live? So where in the city are you with? When you first came, were you with a host family? Did you find an apartment? Where are you living?
So I've moved 3 times since I've been in Madrid, and I've always had an apartment with friends. So I think my first apartment was in Chamberí, and we were Metro Quevedo, because that's how you identify where everybody lives in Madrid, is you just say what metro you live by. And then I moved to Plaza de España, and I was kind of in the city center last year. And then this year I was up in Chamberí again in Rios Rosas. So moved all over the place. I have to say my favorite apartment was definitely the one by Plaza de España, because, you know, we were right on Gran Via, we were by Templo de Debod, we were, you know, right in the center of everything. And it's only, honestly, yeah, living there close to the city center, it was probably a 30-minute walk or, you know, a 15-minute bus ride. I mean, it's not far at all. So, you know, I have friends that live in Lavapiés, and they're like, yeah, it's not even that bad of a commute. So you can live really anywhere you want.
What about you, Rose?
So my first semester coming here, I lived in a host family because I was 18 and moving to Spain, and my mom wanted me to live with parents. But that was a really wonderful experience. We lived in Puerta del Angel, which is kind of below the palace across the river. And it's a part of town that's not really close to school or in the center, and a place of town I really wouldn't have explored had I not lived there. It was actually really, really lovely, and the sun would set every day behind the palace, and sometimes there were these beautiful rainbows over the palace after it rained. And I really loved that. And then afterwards, I moved to a place closer to school in a shared student flat. And then for my sophomore and this year, I've lived in this flat, the same flat in Malasaña, which is in the city center next to Hamish. And I really love living in the city center and having my life here. And then it's just about a 35-minute walk to school. And we usually walk because the metro takes about as long. Because of where we're situated, but it's really great being able to have established myself in one place of the city and knowing what's around me and kind of knowing some of my neighbors and knowing different owners of little businesses. So yeah, I really love where I live.
Great.
I think that's one of the beauties of Madrid, that it is like a little village. So you do get to know all the neighbors, and you get to know the people in the local shop and the local bar. You get up in the morning, people say, "Morning, how are you?" And so you have this very friendly neighborhood atmosphere, and yet it is a city center.
Especially lately because of the quarantine. So across Spain, everyone's been clapping every day at 8 o'clock for all the medical workers. So that's been a really great way. We know all the people who live across from us now and down the street. And so it's like our way to check in and make sure everyone's still doing okay. So that's been a really big silver lining for me of the quarantine, was to get to know all my neighbors.
And I think one of the things that I love about Spain is just people are so friendly, and just very welcoming and warm. And I love that. And I think even now, you know, even just saying hi across the way, you know, hi, how are you? As we're clapping, oh, hi, hello. It's nice. Madrid, and it's easy to get around. I was going to say Madrid's a big city, but it's very easy to get around. I live near Atocha, the train station. I have a metro station 2 blocks away, and to get to the complete other side of town takes about 40 minutes, 35 minutes, maybe podcasts and reading. And I want to mention, I've been in Spain since I was 21, essentially. And I have felt very safe kind of since I've been here. And I think because there's so many people out and about at all hours, and I want you guys, the students, to chime in, but people are always out and about and using public transportation, and it feels very comfortable. And I think one thing I love is all walks of life and all different ages go out to different restaurants and are out walking on the streets. How do you guys feel, or what can you say to maybe a parent that's watching this webinar about they're sending their son or daughter to Spain, and what's it like?
I mean, I've been to a lot of places in the center, but also some really far reaches in the community of Madrid, like the state of Madrid, for different volunteering things. Like I volunteered in Mira Sierra, which is almost an hour north on the train. And then when I go to Girl Scouts, it's in Pozuelo, which takes about an hour to get there on a bus. And so I've used a lot of the transportation that's not just the metro in the center, but the distance buses. And I feel super safe. It's super accessible. Like even as a second-year student, I could figure it out. So I've never really felt unsafe in Madrid, and I'm a smart person when I go out, but I would say I walk around all the time by myself, and yeah, it's a really safe place.
Great. I was going to add one thing just about housing, going back to housing, because I know probably a lot of people that'll be watching this will be incoming first-year students. Transfer students can do whatever they want. Like Sierra, when she came in, got an apartment, no problem. For the first time, fall 2020, we're starting kind of cohort residences. So our incoming freshman students, first-year students will be living together in a residence hall that's, there are two. One is about maybe an 8-minute walk, in Fado, probably 8 minutes or so. Galdos, which is another one, which is the same company. It's maybe 9 minutes. They're kind of in different directions. But all our first year students will be living together as a group. So you guys will have the opportunity to do host family then the following year. What about, yeah, Hamish, sorry?
No, I was just going to say, it was funny. I had a lot of students who had just come from the States last semester, and they were all complaining the 9-minute walk, having to walk 9 minutes to get to school. That was the first week. And by the end of the semester, they're all, I don't know how we're going to survive back in the States where we have to get in a car to go everywhere. So everyone was so used to walking around.
Yeah. So what about, let's switch over to like, what other things do you do for fun in Madrid? Like Madrid's obviously, I mean, I can say it's pretty amazing. It's a European capital city. What do you guys do, or what do you friends or other people that you know do? I'm going to start off by saying, by one of my supermarkets, I noticed an axe throwing school. So I don't know who does axe throwing. There's a kickboxing school in my neighborhood. There's a drawing studio, tap dance studio. There's lots of things. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of my most fond memories, I think before everything kind of, the whole coronavirus thing, is a group of friends and I, we went to Retiro to watch the blossoms, I guess. I think they're either cherry blossoms or I think they're the cherry blossoms. So we went and we had a picnic and we drew things, we painted, we chatted, it was just a really nice opportunity to get outside. And I think that's one of the best things about Madrid is there are so many parks, so many, places to go. You can just kind of wander the streets. So that's kind of what I do for fun. I like to get outside as much as I can. And then like Rose was saying, you can hop on a bus and it's free if you have the abono, which is a little transport card. So it's 20 euros a month. If you're under the age of 25, get it. You can go anywhere you want. But I use my abono and I go up to the mountains and we go hiking or camping. We try to get out of the city every once in a while. But, there's also festivals and things like that. And it's, the Christmas market comes up in Plaza Mayor. So I like to get outside. I like to go all over the city if the weather's nice, go to Retiro, go to, wherever I can to just be outside and enjoy it.
Yeah, I totally echo what you said about taking walks and being in the park, Sierra. I'm not a city person. I don't come from a big city, and I think because Madrid never really feels like you're in a big city because there's 4 size skyscrapers in the whole city and they're all together. So because you're never in a place with buildings more than at least in my neighborhood, more than 6 stories, I feel like I'm always in just a part of a small size town, not a huge European capital. And so I just love taking walks and exploring new places. Madrid's a city that has so many hidden beauties that over the years, as I've become more familiar with them, that's been a really great journey. And then also spending time in the parks. Madrid has preserved its parks so well, and they're also close. So Retiro, I think, is a 25-minute walk from my house, and Parque de Oeste, my other favorite park, is maybe a 15-minute walk from my house. So I'm spending as much time there petting as many dogs as I can because I don't live with dogs here.
Another great thing, I guess, that I just kind of thought about, I love art, big about art, and then there are essentially 3 really big art museums in Madrid. And if you're a student, you can go, I think, to 2 of them for free. The Prado and the Reina Sofia, you can go for free just because you're a student. And then there are a couple other ones too, like the Sorolla, I think you can go for free. But Madrid is a really student-friendly city, I would say. You can go to these games or you can go to the museums for free. You can walk around. There's, I think you can get a lot of discounts at certain things. I mean, and even just the cost of living, I'm from the Chicago area. It's a little bit more, I lived in Milwaukee for a little bit. It's really cheap. I think I can get a liter of milk for 60 cents. I can get a baguette for 40 cents. It's very cheap to live here. And then what I used to do is buy a whole bunch of food, make it in my apartment, and then my friends and I would just have dinner parties, watch movies, and then everybody would pitch in like €1 or 2 because that's how much it costs to feed like 10 people. It's €2 each. It's so cheap, it's so fun.
No, food is important in Spain as well. Spanish people love their food, and so I think there are a lot of places people live in the street a lot, and the idea of having a little drink, they always give you a bit of food to go with it, and then you have the menú del día. So yeah, it's a very cheap 3-course lunch that you can get any day during the week. So yeah, that's one thing in Spain. You never say anything bad about the food.
Never.
I remember when I was at orientation, I think, somewhere, and a Spanish girl told me, she said, if you go out in Madrid and you come back before 3, you didn't go out, you just went to dinner. I was like, all right, yeah, this is how this is.
Days are long. Yes, and sometimes meals will be 2 to 3 to long meals because you eat, and then there's a word that we don't have in English, sobremesa. You spend time just chatting and having coffee and having a second coffee and having dessert and chatting and more chatting, and then sometimes the guitars will come out and people start singing, and right.
Yeah, I went to before Christmas with my Spanish friends' family. We all went out to lunch to have cocido, which is a traditional Spanish food, and they told us, they were like, your reservation is only for 2 hours, so you have to go a little bit fast. And they were like, we'll be fine, but that was something that the waiter had to tell a Spanish family because they expect to be able to eat for 3 or 4 hours for lunch.
Yeah.
Yes, everything goes slowly. Like very often, you go to a restaurant, they go at their own pace, and when you want to pay and get out, trying to get the bill can be, you might be waiting for a long time. There's never any rush when you're eating.
So true. Well, good. Well, thank you guys. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add about just life in Madrid. Welcome to our living rooms, is what I'm saying. I've been talking to students this evening.
Well, I'd just like to say one thing about Madrid. It's very, very dangerous. I came here, and I think probably 3/4 of the professors and staff at SLU-Madrid, we all came here for 6 months.
Yeah, I was here for a year.
Yeah, I've now been here for 25 years. So, it's dangerous. When you come here, you might never leave, just so you know.
It's a great place to be. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you, Heidi.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Rose.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sarah, when you're back. Anyways, thank you so much for taking time out of studying or prepping courses or whatever else you're doing.
Okay, see you
That's
soon.
great.
Bye too.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.